going to do tonight, boys? What are we saying?
I think Arsenal are going to hang in the game, and they might score a goal and reach like a extra time or something. I don't think Arsenal will get beat today. I think the game is going to be even a draw or Arsenal win. I don't think that Arsenal will go to this game and they're going to get beat. But Mikel Arteta have his lineup that he beat Real Madrid with today. So let's go Arsenal. I want to see Arsenal in the final versus Inter. So we get to smash them.
Arsenal. Come on, Arsenal. Let's go, man. I'm backing Arsenal today. You get me? It would be amazing for Arsenal to win. I need it. I'll inject it into my veins. I'm very excited. I think Arsenal remontada is on. I think they're going to win today 2-0. And they're going to go through in regular time. I don't think this even needs extra time. I think they're just going to score 2 set-piece goals and go through to the final. I think they're going to score a goal from a corner and another goal from a free kick or a corner and then go through to the final. I see Arsenal in Munich.
Let me show you guys some stats that I was sent today. Facts more than stats, really. But look, we'll read these out together, and the viewers can obviously see this. Hopefully, they can see this on their phones or wherever they're looking from. So, let me read these out here. So, because it's too small on that screen for me, I need it slightly bigger.
It is very small to me on my screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna read them. I'll read them out. So, the top one is: Arsenal have never overturned a result in the Champions League knockout stages after losing the first leg. Arsenal have never won 5 consecutive away games in the Champions League. This would be that day. Arsenal have never knocked out a French team in the Champions League. Arsenal have only kept 1 clean sheet in their last 16 away games in the Champions League. Arsenal haven't won any of their last 6 semi-final fixtures in all competitions. Arsenal haven't won any of their last 4 Champions League semi-final fixtures. Arsenal have not ever scored a goal in an away leg of the Champions League semi-finals. Arsenal haven't scored a goal in their last 6 semi-final fixtures in all competitions. And Luis Enrique has never lost at home to Arsenal in his playing career or his managerial one. Every single fact and stat leading up to this game says that Arsenal are going out. They don't score goals in semis. They don't beat French teams. They've never overturned a first game deficit at home in a knockout match. They haven't scored in their last 6 semi-final fixtures. Everything's against them.
Yeah, but none of these stats surprise me. None of them. The reason why none of them surprise me
very small club
Arsenal,
in Europe. They have no heritage.
Yeah, in Europe, Arsenal are the equivalent of West Ham. Like, this is reality. I'm sorry, guys, whether you like it or not. Arsenal are nobodies in Europe. The reason why all these records, none of them surprise me. What's Arsenal's most memorable thing against they've done in the Champions League?
Winning one. No. Winning the game against Real Madrid with Henry score. That's it. That's it. Memorable moment.
And then they get knocked out in the return leg anyway. Like Arsenal, the reason why none of these stats surprise me is Arsenal have never done well in the Champions League ever for the last 30, 40 years.
So I understand that, but it's as someone says here, records are there to be broken. Do you feel this is the reason why I think Arsenal got a chance tonight. Forget tactics, forget players for a moment. At some point, those records have got to stop. At some point, they're going to score a goal in a semi-final. At some point, they're going to knock a French team out. And by the way, 2 goals tonight without conceding breaks every single one of these records in one go. And a 2-0 away result is hard, but it isn't impossible. It just feels to me like I think Arsenal were going to go through tonight, and I could be wrong. I'm not writing off PSG. Same. If Arsenal get their approach wrong, so if Arsenal come out like they did in the first game, try and press PSG off the park, leave themselves open, they're going to concede early, and it may end up being a bloodbath. I think if they sit in a compact, a hard to beat first, I think after the opening 10, 15 minutes, if they don't concede, the crowd will start to quieten down. And they will start to get opportunities in the game, as they did at home. If they're able to do that and get themselves to that point, it's game on for me. Yes, they're 1-0 down, but had the first leg been 0-0 and they went 1-0 down in the first half tonight, and they had 45 minutes to score a goal to put it into extra time, nobody would be saying it's a write-off. So I don't see why it's a write-off tonight. I haven't felt that the whole time. But it's about the approach. The omens, I think, are with them. Because I think at some point these records have got to be broken, and why not tonight? The only way this goes wrong for Arsenal, the only way is if they come out and they're too bullish, they're too aggressive, they're too erratic in that opening 10 to 15 minutes. I think if they sit in, if they nullify PSG, stop them having those of gilt-edged chances, make it hard, settle into the game, then I think Arsenal will go through. I think they will find a way tonight. As you've said, 2 set-piece goals. I'm not thought about how they'll score, but I think that's how they've got to do it. But that's why I'm not confident about playing Tottenham. Because every omen in the world says that they've got to lose this final. And at some point, that fucking thing is going to end. And I've got a horrible feeling it's going to be against my fucking club. So that's why I don't have chess, because I read these things a lot. When Man United played City in the FA Cup final, everything was against us. It made me think we would win, and we did. And this just feels like one of those. You've got to execute your plan properly. If Ten Hag wasn't compact and hard to beat, we'd have got slapped in that final. But I think if Arsenal get their game plan correct, as in, and it has to be compact, hard to beat, limit the space, and spring, I think they beat PSG.
I agree with you. I think if the longer they stay in the game, PSG will be nervous, not Arsenal. The longer Arsenal keeps it 0-0, PSG will get nervous because one goal brings Arsenal back to the game. It can happen in minute 70, 80, 90, 95. It doesn't matter. You're going to get back into the game. The people that keep saying that Arsenal get smashed, if Arteta approached the game the same way that he approached against Real Madrid, where he's second leg, where he waits for them, I think he can score a goal. The problem is he was overconfident in the first game. He was complacent. Look at the tifo that the club has done. Like, they thought that they're going to beat PSG fair square as they beat them like in the group stage. Now PSG are confident. All the media saying that Arsenal are out. All the rivals saying Arsenal are out. This is when Arsenal are going to have a good performance. And again, Arsenal cannot lean on a draw. They have to play good. They have to win. Arsenal will show resilience. And I think they will have it in them to actually stop PSG's attack, as they did. We actually only highlight the first 30 minutes of the first game, but we forget that at the end of the game, Arsenal were equivalent and they created a lot of chances. That can happen this game as well. Make Thomas Partey's back. People forgot about that. Mikel Merino up top is miles better than Trossard. And I think Arsenal can do it, right? I think it's going to be hard. But I'm not going to rule them out. I'm not going to be surprised if Arsenal win by 2-goal margins, to be honest, or it reaches extra time and Arsenal win it. Like, and I don't get why fans. Not last thing. Why the fuck do Arsenal fans keep talking about it's over, sack the fraud? What the fuck? You haven't even played the game yet. The game's not even played yet, and you're already setting your team up for failure.
Yeah, but you know why what it
this is happening, bro?
I'll tell you why it's happening, because we're not going to win. We're out. Sack him now. There's no point in him being the manager. And then if they go out, they can say, I was right. It's all about setting up the I told you so. That's all that's about. Darwin here, though, says, it's very hard to nullify PSG. No, I agree. And I'm not talking, I'm glad you challenged this. It's why we do podcasts and not short format like the media. I'm glad you challenged it, so you get the chance to explain further. I don't mean, well, I hope what they're able to do is stop there being any massive chances that are high level XG that should be goals. What Arsenal can't equate for is a player having the ball in a very undangerous area, 35 yards out, and pinging it into the top corner, a wonder goal you can do nothing about. There are certain, the goal that Dewey scored against Aston Villa where he curls it, there's nothing Aston Villa could have done about that goal. That, of course, can happen. They could score 2 worldies tonight, PSG. Arsenal's plan could be perfect. PSG scored 2 of the best goals you've seen all season in terms of long-range efforts, and they lose 2-0. That isn't the game plan issue for me. That isn't about approaching things. And they're outliers in the game. That's why their XG numbers are so low. And it's why we love those kind of goals, because they're so spectacular. What they've got to do when I say nullify them is they've got to make it very hard in the early stages for PSG to get those gilt-edged chances, is what I would call them, the high XG opportunities, the harder to miss than score opportunities. They have to nullify that so that the crowd hopefully dies down a little bit, because That's the massive advantage that PSG have got tonight. They're at home. So that for me is why that approach is really key. This here says, by the way, congratulations, Mo. I am happy Inter made the finals last night. Inter are one of the most underrated teams, especially by Premier League fans who don't have ball knowledge. Igal underestimates them when we face them in the group stages.
Yes, Aditya. The problem is we start Mkhitaryan, and if you're a Premier League fan and you watch Inter and you see Mkhitaryan starting and Darmian starting and Acerbi starting, and Zomer starting, you're like, oh, this is just a wash team. Oh, yeah. This is just a wash team. That is the reality.
Arsenal will not win tonight if Hussam predicts them to win.
There you are. I want an apology on my watch along if they win.
Zayn also says, I give Arsenal 33%. I gave Arsenal a 33% chance to beat PSG before, but Hussam predicting Arsenal to go through. I now give them no chance. Man predicted City to go through versus Madrid and then gave Arsenal 0 chance versus Madrid. Yeah, you've been wrong the whole time, really, haven't you, on Arsenal side of the draw?
Yeah, I think Arsenal are going to win today, so am I going to be wrong?
Well, your track record, based on your Cole Palmer logic, yes. Based on your Cole Palmer logic, you're definitely wrong. Arsenal are out. Terry is spot on. Last night's game was evidence patience is key, as goals can be scored even in the last 10 minutes. Yeah, Arsenal defensive solidity is key. Arsenal don't need to win this game in the first. You can't win it in the first 10 minutes, but you can lose it, and that has to be what I go back to what we saw. Rice screaming, "Lose the ball and we die." No. Give PSG too much space and you die. That has got to be the message from Arsenal players tonight. Ollie got it done in Paris. No excuses for Arteta. Yeah, look, that Man United, that night was crazy. That was one of the best nights I ever had watching Man United. I loved it. Sam doesn't back Arsenal with the blue jacket. Don't back Arsenal with the blue jacket on.
Big up Jibril. He already paid me to say that PSG are going to win. So.
Hussam supporting Arsenal means we've lost. They're not liking your support tonight, mate. They're hating it.
Don't worry, I'm going to be supporting Arsenal, whether you like it or not, Habibi.
This is what the hell, sorry, is Hussam smoking. Newcastle aren't 3 points ahead of Chelsea. They're both on the same points, so a point away at St. James's Park isn't bad. Both will get top 5.
What I'm smoking because I thought Newcastle are 3 points ahead of Chelsea. I just looked at the league table and corrected myself. Sorry, I don't have the league table memorized.
It's terrible basically as Tony Stark as a super scientist. You thought you would know that, bruv.
There you are.
If Arsenal get knocked out today, it will be 508 million net over 5 seasons with 2 charity shields. Inter Milan have 96 million with 7 trophies, could be 9. Yeah.
No, he's talking about Arteta. But we play in different leagues, though. You have to understand this. Playing different leagues, it's just completely different.
If Inter came up against City, they would have 0 league titles as well.
So the spending power is only comparable against your own league. It's not against the teams in Portugal, for example. I'm not going to compare Inter. So with all due respect, Sagnik, I'm not going to compare Inter spending to a team in Romania or Poland or Slovenia. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to compare Inter spending in our league versus Juventus and Milan and the rest of them.
You also see as well, if Man United want to buy a Portuguese player this summer, or Man City or Liverpool, the Premier League teams get charged more than what Inter would, simply because the seller knows which clubs have got more money because of the TV stuff. So it is a hard comparison to make, to be fair. Big up Terry, Mo, and Hussam, the Terrace community. Hope you are all well. Favorite show of the week, always.
Yes, Patrick. Big up, Patrick.
Appreciate that, mate. Is this